Hi trader, many interesting chart patterns going on the euro, pound dollar, dollar yen, and Aussie, and they are facing some key support and resistance levels. First of all though, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience. Please take a look at admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact the appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable for you. Also, please be aware that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered higher risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer, plus you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Let's start with the dollar yen weekly chart. Price is still at the 50 fib, and if price manages to break through the 100 level, then there is a good chance it could fall down to 95, which is the 61.8 fib, and there could be a bearish breakout trade with the downtrend channel. However, there's also a good chance that price is going to bounce at this 50 fib. This could be the initial bounce. This second basically hook back could be just a retracement, and price could then bounce, break through this channel, and make a substantial upside. So this is an important bounce or break spot, and if I zoom into the daily chart, you can see right here an interesting downtrend channel above all, of course, but price is breaking through this resistance trend line, and there could be a rally here up to the top, and if price breaks above that channel, even further. All right, so this is the key question in my mind: is price going to break through this bottom and make a dash towards the 61.8 fib? If it doesn't break, this could actually be still a bouncing spot at that 50 fib weekly, and the fact that price has already broken through this resistance trend line is already in the indication that perhaps price is going to bounce at the 50 fib and make that rally up to resistance and perhaps higher. So zooming in all the way to the hourly, you can see that price is trying to break away from this channel already. You can see a triangle here in the break earlier this week. So I'm expecting basically price to make one more dash up. If it does, and it makes a kind of pattern like this sideways, or if it makes a dash up and starts to make a bull flag, I would be looking for longs later this week basically and try to trade it. Would put a fib from here to here, for instance. Look for the 38.2 fib as a bouncing spot, and price could go up to these targets at the -272 and the -61.8. All right, that's a future fib. So I would like to see, first of all, price though make a bit of a push here, at least to 101.50 would be nice, or 101.30 at the very minimum, before making that retracement, and there could be a bounce for upside on the hourly chart. On the 4-hour chart, that would look like this. We would have a good 4-hour candle poking through the Keltner, for instance. You see the Keltner is pretty close by. What I would like to see is a 4-hour candle close above the Keltner with a close near the high. That to me indicates a bullish breakout potential, and looking for retracement of that candle, I think there's a good chance of continuation. If we don't get that and price struggles somewhat, struggles here, doesn't show the bullish candle that I would like to see in the near future, then perhaps this is still a retracement. This could turn out to be a consolidation sideways, and price in fact could still turn here. If there's any candlestick pattern on a 4-hour chart, big engulfing twins or pin bar, could be still worth taking a short to retest the bottom in here. And of course, especially if the support levels break, especially if this support level breaks this trend line, there could be a breakout there and another breakout to the downside. Before we take a look at the other currency pairs, be aware we have on Monday Nenet's weekly FX recap. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, I take a look at fibs and trend lines. Wednesday, I take a look at that exact Keltner indicator that I just showed, and I'm going to indicate or discuss a strategy that I use with this indicator. Thursday, we're going to take a look at the story behind wave analysis. Some of you are big fans, some of you are doubting about waves, some of you don't use waves, but I think no matter what your opinion is on wave analysis, I think that this is going to help you, because I'm going to break down into complex corrections and strong momentums and make it easy and simple for all traders. So I encourage you to join these webinars and hope to see you in them. The Eurodollar had a bullish week, just as we indicated last week. Looking at that, we saw some good upside trades, not only on Monday, but on Tuesday and Wednesday as well throughout the week in our live trading rooms. So that was good trading to the upside. Now we have a good weekly candle, in fact, that looks pretty strong, closed near the high. I'm expecting, therefore, a break of last week's high. But once it breaks, I do think there's a strong resistance here. Look at those tops. Price has always struggled at that area. So that could happen again. So I expect a break of last week's high, but I don't think it will go too far. I think 114.50-ish, this zone in here, will become a strong resistance. And if you put a fib from here to here, indicating basically the swing high, swing low, then somewhere around this fib, I think price could stop. It has stopped at the 38. It has stopped at the 61.8. It could easily stop at the 78.6 fib. So I think that this could be a turn spot here for, or somewhere here or somewhere lower, for to move up to the 78.6 fib, after which that could be a substantial resistance spot for a down move again. By the way, on the weekly, I do expect at this point an A, B, C, D, E triangle, which means that if the E triangle ends, and if it does end somewhere in here, that could be a pretty substantial move down, because that could indicate that price is going to break this bottom if it finishes the triangle. Now, that's of course a big if, and obviously, if price breaks above this top, then this is not a wave E anymore. Also, price would need to break through support before that gets confirmed. But that could have some potential there, as you can see, if that is true. Now, from a 4-hour perspective, these are turning spots, these fibs, and we could still get that move to the target I just mentioned if price basically turns at 112.75, 112.50, or 112.20. If it doesn't turn by 112.20, then I'm not as bullish anymore. In fact, I'll be neutral. You can see there's a trend line here as well. Let me correct that just a bit. So if it breaks below the fib, if it breaks below the trend line, then I'm not bullish anymore. This is bullish territory up to that 114.50. If it breaks below here, I'm starting to be neutral. I could even maybe, depending on how it breaks, there could be even, if it breaks and shows a bear flag, there could be even shorts below that basically level. All right, but until that moment, I am not looking for trades to the downside. Pound USD is in a triangle, and basically, on the daily chart, you can see that pretty clearly. Basically, needs to break this support before we can expect a bigger move down. On a 4-hour chart, we had a substantial move down here and a pretty nice ABC hook back to the 61.8 fib. All right, so what I'm expecting now is probably price to retest this bottom in here. This is looking bearish. You can see momentum here. You can see momentum here. All in all, though, of course, we're still in a triangle. Look at the pink lines here, right? So that's why I do think that there could be a good short, but we have to be careful of this. If the support line breaks, then, of course, there could be a pretty sturdy downside correction after that. On a hourly, what I see is that momentum on the 4-hour chart, and I see a support trend line and a resistance. So if price breaks that support, I think we could see downside to these fib targets. Basically, if we see a break above resistance, then the bearishness is invalidated, and price could maybe make a bigger upside. If it breaks through like this, it could maybe go up to the next fib right there at the 78.6 fib, right? So that could be the breakout target to the upside. If it breaks above this trend line and the 61.8 fib, I should note, there could be that upside to that trend line. If it breaks this support, then I expect price to go to these fibs. By the way, it could still bounce anywhere in here for a rally, ABC rally, basically, and then I would expect again a turn back down here. The pound could make these spikes up and down this week, so that's something you want to be careful of. So yeah, down, basically down, and then up, and then down again could definitely occur due to these strong support and resistance levels nearby. Last but not least, the Aussie is certainly showing struggle here. You can see it on the daily. 2 wicks there on the weekly chart. Big trend line there as well. And it is basically running out of steam. You can see here on the daily uptrend channel, but this resistance line indicating no power there, and it is making retracement. If it breaks the channel, there is a space here to fall down to support trend line, plus some interesting bottoms here as well. So there could be a bit of a breakout to the downside, limited breakout, because soon I think there is support yet again, and I would expect price to bounce there on this Aussie. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you in the webinars and wish you above all great trading. Cheers.